You know that feeling, right? You're trying to get something done, but your phone just keeps buzzing, lighting up, pulling you away. It really feels like we're all caught in this constant digital flood. And honestly, it's leaving a lot of us feeling totally overwhelmed. So let's get into it.
Just take a second and think about it. A real guess. All the emails, the texts, the app alerts, the social media pings. What do you think your daily total is? 50? Maybe 100?
Well, the answer might actually floor you. For some users, the average is around 150 notifications a day. That's a new interruption roughly every 10 minutes you're awake. I mean, no wonder our attention feels like it's been shattered into a million pieces.
And this is exactly what happens. This quote from Lily, wow, does that hit home or what? You pick up your phone to do one simple thing, and the digital world is just expertly designed to suck you down a rabbit hole. What starts as a quick check becomes an entire hour of your life just gone.
So let's be really clear about this. This isn't just you failing or having a lack of discipline. We are all trying to navigate this daily digital deluge, and it's a serious challenge to our well-being.
And that's where this idea of digital well-being comes in. Look, this isn't about throwing your phone in the trash. It's about finding that sweet spot, that perfect balance between being plugged in and just being present in the real world. A balance that, let's be honest, most of us are really struggling to find.
But here's the thing you have to understand. This feeling of being constantly pulled away, it isn't an accident. In a lot of ways, our digital environment is literally built to grab our attention and not let go.
And one of the main psychological engines driving all of this is something I'm sure you've heard of, FOMO. That little nagging voice in the back of your head, that feeling that if you're not checking your phone constantly, you're going to miss out on some important update, an inside joke, or a cool event. It's what keeps us scrolling again and again and again.
And the consequences are very, very real. Studies link FOMO to everything from students being completely distracted in class to the incredibly dangerous act of texting while driving. It's also tied to just a lower mood in general and that compulsive need to check our phones the second we wake up and right before we go to sleep.
And it's not just FOMO. There's this other thing called choice overload. I mean, think about trying to pick a movie on Netflix, right? The digital world gives us so many options that it can actually paralyze us, and we end up feeling less happy with whatever we finally choose.
And it's not just our choices that are affected, it's the very way we consume content. Yeah, we're talking about those short-form videos. Research is showing a pretty strong link between spending a lot of time on those endless feeds and having a shorter attention span, which in turn can really impact things like how well you do in school.
But here is where the story takes a really fascinating turn. People are starting to push back. In this world of infinite digital streams, there's this growing hunger for things that are tangible, limited, real. We're seeing the rise of analog.
And this chart just lays it out so perfectly. Digital gives you infinite choice, analog gives you meaningful limits. Digital is all about instant feedback, analog teaches you delayed gratification. Digital is immaterial, while analog is all about physical ownership. It's the difference between fast and easy versus slow and deliberate. And believe me, this isn't just some small niche trend. Big companies are taking notice. Kodak, a brand that the digital revolution nearly killed, has been ramping up its production of 35mm film every single year just to keep up with this incredible new demand.
And this photographer, Dominic Wade, he just captures the whole feeling perfectly. He doesn't want digital perfection, he wants the realness, the limits, even the beautiful mistakes. Instead of that unknowable black mirror of a digital screen, he wants the simple physical controls of an old camera. So what's really going on here? Why are people flocking back to vinyl records and film cameras? Well, it seems to be about reclaiming two really important things that we often lose in the digital world: our focus and a real sense of ownership. It starts with this powerful idea called psychological ownership. It's that deep down feeling that an object is truly yours, that it's a part of you. And it's just so much easier to feel that connection with something you can actually hold in your hands versus a file floating around in the cloud.
And this feeling has actual measurable value. Check this out. In one experiment, tourists were offered a souvenir photo. When they got a physical instant print photo, they paid an average of $3 for it. But when they got the exact same photo as a digital file, they only paid $1. We simply value what we can touch. This record store owner, Chris Veltri, says it so well. A vinyl record isn't just music. It's a physical object with weight and a story. You can feel its history, its patina, as he calls it. And that tangible connection to the past is something a streaming file just can never, ever replicate. Now, this chart might look a little complicated, but the idea behind it is pretty simple. When you get into an analog hobby, researchers call it serious leisure. Instead of just passively scrolling a feed, you're on a journey from beginner to expert. This process of mastering a physical skill, it builds a sense of control and accomplishment that we just don't get from digital consumption.
So, what's the big takeaway from all of this? Is the answer to toss our smartphones and go live in a cabin? Of course not. The real goal is to find a healthier, more intentional balance between these two worlds.
And just to be super clear, these analog fans are not anti-digital. In fact, a lot of them use the internet to build communities and share their passion. The point isn't to pick one side. It's about using the slow, deliberate nature of analog to bring a little more mindfulness into our lives, both on and off the screen. And hey, you can start really small. Here's a super simple plan for a mini digital detox. The whole idea is to create a screen-free buffer before you go to sleep. So you stop using your devices an hour before bed. You charge your phone somewhere else, not in your bedroom. And then you replace that screen time with something relaxing and analog, like reading an actual, physical book.
And that brings us to a final question for you to think about. What is one small, screen-free thing you could do this week? Could it be writing in a journal? Taking a walk without your phone? Maybe even trying out a roll of film? Finding that balance, it all starts with one tiny intentional step.